This video is for your Freytag Pyramid for A Wrinkle in Time. So this is really important. You are not submitting this document until we reach the end of our novel. So we are going to start this document after we have already begun reading A Wrinkle in Time. We'll probably start this probably after chapter 3. But again, you're not going to submit it until we are completely done reading it. This is an ongoing document on which we will work throughout the 9 weeks. It's really important that you keep up with this assignment and you don't wait to complete it until it's due. So as you read A Wrinkle in Time, you need to add information that is pertinent to the plot to this Freytag Pyramid. Most of your information is going to fall into the rising action category, so give particular attention to Meg's conflicts because these are the encounters that will propel the plot to the climactic moment. Below, you see the example of the Freytag Pyramid. This is a diagram that portrays plot structure. You are not actually recording anything on this page. You will do so on the following pages of this document. Now, you're not going to be typing on this page because there's not enough room for you to record all the information that we're going to find in an entire novel. But let's look at the structure. So down here at the bottom, we start with our exposition. We know that this is the beginning of the story, and then it moves up to rising action. It peaks at the climax. And then as it descends into falling action, it reaches the resolution. So exposition is the beginning of the narrative in which the reader meets several characters, including our protagonist, our main character. We also learn the setting, which is the time and place. Those are revealed as well as key background information about the protagonist. So for your exposition, I've given you some guiding questions to answer in this space below. What is the setting of A Wrinkle in Time? When we first start reading it in chapters 1, 2, and 3, where does it take place? And what time period is it? Who are the characters that we meet? So we know we meet Meg, our protagonist, but who else comes into play? And what is some really important key background information that we learn about Meg? What's going on with her family specifically, her family dynamic? There is something that she reveals about her father in particular that is the center of the entire story. I'm going to take this out of present mode. If you are in Miss Robertson's class, you are working in Google Slides. So all you need to do is tap into this text box here and you can start answering these questions. If you are one of my students, Miss Gann's students, then you know that in Cami, you just add a text box there. Okay, so exposition is what's going to be answered for chapters 1 through 3. Now, rising action is considered the meat of a story because it includes the most important actions. The rising action is going to be the section of the story that builds suspense and creates interest in the reader. This is the part that keeps us on the edges of our seats. It keeps us invested in the story. And you want to give special attention to Meg's conflicts because these lead the plot to the climactic moment. So I want you to list examples of rising action in the box below. Again, if you were one of Miss Robertson's kids, all you have to do is click in this text box. Identify moments of suspense. Give me examples of conflicts in the story, and also list some of Meg's decisions. All of these things are going to work together to lead to the climax. And because rising action is the majority of the novel, you have 2 pages to record information. This page and the next. The climax is the turning point for the protagonist. This is not simply the most exciting part of the story. The climax is so much more than just the most exciting part of the story. This is where the protagonist meets his or her primary conflict head on, and I want you to use details and identify the climax and justify why you believe this scene qualifies as the climax. So here are some guiding questions. What is Meg's primary conflict? What is her main problem? How does she face that problem and how does she solve it? And how does this affect or change her? You can't answer the climax until almost the end of the story. So we will not be answering this section for quite some time. Falling action, this occurs immediately after the climax. It wraps up the loose ends of the narrative and it leads to the ending. The falling action is very short in a story because the climax is almost at the end of the book. You know, you don't have a lot of time left for the falling action. The resolution immediately follows the falling action, and the conflict is resolved and the narrative concludes. So using details, identify the narrative's resolution. When you are done with this, and again, we will not be done with this until the end of the novel, you are going to turn it in using the directions on this page. If you have me, click the turn in button at the top under Cami, and then hit turn in again. If you have Ms. Robertson, close the tab and hit the submit assignment on the assignment page. We will be posting more videos of us going through this assignment with you and answering some of these. This is just to give you a quick overview of what this assignment will entail.